It's the Fade 5 Podcast with Brad Evans and Nate Lundy.
Place your bets, you jackwagons. The big noise Evans here, joined by the good son, Nathaniel Lundy. 'Tis another Friday edition of the Fade 5 Podcast. And you know we got some tickets in hand because we're hopping aboard the Honk Honk Plus Bus, as we always do at the top of every single Fade 5 episode. The requirement here, Lundy, is any wager to your likeness, but it's got to be at least plus 100 odds or greater. So is there something that could pay off handsomely that tickles your fancy?
It actually does, Brad, and I'll tell you this. They may not be single, but they're ready to mingle. Let's talk about Freddie Freeman and Corey Seager. I need both of these guys to come through with a single for me today. So not a hit. I need to be very specific here, and that is that we get a single. Let me start with Freddie Freeman, who is currently on a 13-game hitting streak. He's got 23 hits in those 13. But here's what I wanted to tell you. Over the course of that 13-game hitting streak, there's only one game in there where there wasn't a single involved. There was a game where he went 2 for 5. He had 2 doubles in that one, but otherwise he has been consistently getting the singles done. You look at his history that he's got against Eduardo Rodriguez. He's got a 500 batting average against him lifetime, and that includes 6 for 12, and 4 of those were singles. So I'm definitely going to roll there with him. Then for Corey Seager, same idea. We're looking at the success he's got against Tarik Skubal. He is 6 for 9 lifetime against him. Oh, that's a sexy 667 average, but 5 out of those 6 are also just of the one base variety. So singles, ready to mingle. Just do this 2-leg parlay over at DraftKings. You're pulling a plus 207.
Again, slap on the outfield and stop at first base. Don't you dare try to leg out a double, you fools. Absolutely love this selection based on the bias and the history tied to those pitching matchups. And Freddie Freeman, oh my goodness, he is swinging a hot stick. All right, let's look way into the future, shall we? On a bet that Lundy absolutely despises and loathes, but I'm going to lock it in anyway. Give me Bijan Robinson. Yeah, score a little Bijan on your sandwich you consume. I think he's going to win Offensive Player of the Year, also known as Opoi, at 16-1 odds. Best odd right now in the business, tied to Caesars Sportsbook. Entirely on the table. I think this is a sensational value for a guy that had 1,887 all-purpose yards last year. I think he's got to go over 2,000. And here near number 3, he also had 61 receptions a season ago, 15 total touchdowns. He was a fantasy playoff hero. Thank you, Bijan, for making your boys some buckaroos. He was also top 10 last season among all running backs in total yards created, total yak, total missed tackles, forced, total red zone touches, and expected fantasy points. He was number 2 in that category. So he was a king of efficiency in some of those advanced analytics. Michael Penix, I think, is definitely an upgrade under center for the entire year over floppy arm Kirk Cousins, who's going to be sipping White Claws on the sidelines all season long. I think Bijan probably going to get, upwards of 75, 80% of the opportunity share. He'll get spelled on occasion, but only sporadically by Tyler Algier. And most importantly, Lundy, Atlanta was numero uno in run blocking efficiency in 2024, according to Pro Football Focus. So put it all together. And throw in the fact, too, that he's got a cinch of a schedule, the easiest projected fantasy schedule for running back, and it points to one direction and one direction only. To win Offensive Player of the Year, Bijan Robinson. Make me some bank at 16-1 odds there at Caesars Sportsbook. With those bets already on the board, let's get after it on this Freaky Friday edition with another of the Fade 5.
Number 5.
All right, numero cinco here on the countdown. Let's get down with some Hunter Brown, shall we? And I am going to do that, and I'm going to go the alt market, as a matter of fact, and lock and load Hunter Brown, 8 or more strikeouts, taking on the big red machine, that of Cincinnati, plus 130. Yeah, we're on the shoulders. It gets seduced by the Jews. Lock and load this there at DraftKings Sportsbook. You look at what Hunter Brown has done in his last 3 starts. He's gone 9, 9-9. Yeah, Nice have been wild. So he has greatly surpassed this and greatly surpassed the standard number. On strikeouts is at 6.5, but it's just way to the over. That's why I'm going a little bit higher to secure more value. 10.26 K per nine in the season. Decent, but not great. 29.6 call plus swinging strike rate, but the swing strike rate is much higher so far this year for Brown than it was last season. You look as well at home, even better K per nine, 11.08 with a 1.38 ERA. And you look at Cincinnati, number 8 in strikeout percentage over the last 2 weeks. They're punching out on 22.7% of their plate appearances. So put all together, premium matchup and a guy that is wide stinking hot with the location and the swings and a miss. And I think he's going to accumulate a lot of those. Getting down with some Hunter Brown. 8 or more strikeouts against Cincinnati, plus 130 there at DraftKings. Lundy, fade or follow.
Coming out of the gate swinging here with a big time plus 130 on the alt market here on the K's. Tell you what, I'm feeling it today, Brad. I'm feeling it. Don't ask me what I'm feeling, but I am feeling it today. So I'll tell you what, I'll jump in with you on this one here at number 5. I will follow, and I'll say the Reds keep swinging and missing.
Oh, man, I hope everything's moving in all the right places, Lundy.
Number 4.
Numero cuatro here on the countdown. Lundy, what do you have emblazoned on your chest there?
It's the logo of a team that has no bench.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's entirely fair, but I'm going to bet on that team tonight. Same game parlay numero cuatro here on the Fade 5 countdown on this Friday. Let's go to that game 3 matchup between Oklahoma City and the Denver Nuggets. Even up at 1-1 in the series, heading back to the Mile High City. Let's try to make some Mile High money, shall we? With Denver, leg numero uno, plus 10.5 on the alt line. Leg numero dos, Nikola Jokic get at least 10 rebounds. And leg numero tres, SGA, also known as Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, to get a block. I just need 1 swat. So that little 3-legger pays out at plus 120 there at BetMGM. Look, I think this series is going to go the full 7. And I don't think the Nuggets at home are going to get blown out inside Ball Arena. Yes, OKC is number 1 in this NBA postseason at efficiency, and I know Denver is much further down the list at number 11 in that category, but include the regular season matchups and the record ATS on this 10.5 line is 3-3. So I think there was a very good shot feeding off that energy of the home crowd. Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, and friends keep this one within single digits. So there's leg numero uno. Leg numero dos, Jokic get at least 10 rebounds. Remember, he had like a 20-plus rebound game a couple of games ago in this series. And a guy, too, the supreme matchup, as OKC is the second most opponent rebounds per game in the NBA postseason at 46.3. Yes, I understand he fell short in rebounds in the last game, but Jokic, I think it's at least 10 tonight. Honestly, I think it's going to be at least 15. So on the outline, Nikola Jokic, leg numero dos, 10 or more boards, and leg numero tres, mi amigos, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander for a block. He's done this in 4 of his last 6 games, and 5 of these 6 matchups against the Denver Nuggets this season. And most importantly, the Nugs, they've allowed the most opponent block shots per game in this NBA postseason at 7.7. So to recap, same game parlay, Nuggets plus 10.5 on the alt line. Jokic, 10 or more boards, and SGA, 1 block shot. Uno, dos, and tres, mi amigos. Put those hands together, plus 120 at BetMGM. Lundy, don't you dare fade me. You better follow me. You have the damn logo and place it on your chest.
Well, I mean, I had to put the logo on because they play today. It's like a prerequisite here for my job in Denver. So I mean, I have to. But again, no bench, none whatsoever. Like, as far as I'm concerned, play all 5 of them 48 minutes and call it good. Yeah. I like the way you constructed this one. You know, the block, anytime I start including a block within my SGPs, I will be honest, I start to get a little bit nervous. And that's only because it's it can sometimes be such a fluky play, like unless we're talking about Wemby, right? In which case, you take him for like 5 or more, right? But in this particular case, I get worried about this one winding up being a fluke. You can basically get the exact same payday, folks, if you swap out the SGA block and you put in Hartenstein for 8 or more rebounds.
Okay.
So if you take Jokic for 10, Hartenstein for 8, and then still do Denver plus 10.5, the payday is like 121. I mean, it's basically the exact same payday, folks. So you can either roll with Brad's version, you could do my version, or maybe you leave the SGA block in and you add Hartenstein. Ooh, now we're getting sexy.
Oh, yes. Ratchet up the sex appeal, to say the least. But come on, Lundy. Sack up. SGA is going to slap one into the seats.
Number 3.
All right, numero tres here with the Fave 5 countdown. Skubal doo, where are you? Well, he's on the mound at home taking on the Texas Rangers, and I think he is going to go at least 6 strong, maybe 7. Get the necessary run support that is required and secure the win. So Skubal to record the W is at a minus 115 there at DraftKings Sportsbook. Why am I high on this? Well, it's Patrick Corbin Day, and usually that means you got to load up on a player props tied to the opposing hitters. But Patrick Corbin's actually been pretty stinking good here this season. Well south of a 4 overall ERA, though on the road this year, a completely different story with that 5.00 ERA. Meanwhile, you look at Skubal, a guy that should be able to get the job done. He has certainly been masterful there at Comerica Park. 1.06 ERA, 2 wins as well on the season, and 17 innings pitched. That's 3 total starts. He has won 3 of his last 5 starts. And look at Detroit. They're number 3 in WRC plus here over the last couple of weeks. Double the fact, too, the Skubal has a 10.62 K per 9. Add in as well just a microscopic 1.11 walks per 9 and a 32.1%, which is way low, hard hit rate. Dude is going to be dealing. So give me Tarik Skubal to record the W against Patrick Corbin and the Texas Rangers. Getting Corbin with that 5.00 road ERA. 11 this wager at a minus 115 at DraftKings. Numero tres on the countdown. Lundy, better follow.
It's Patrick Corbin Day. I mean, I can't really get away. I got a reason to talk about Corbin coming up in bonus time as well. I can't get away from the fact that this guy is just so much fun to pick on. I mean, look, we'll talk about it at number 1 because I know what your number 1 is. There are certain teams, there are certain people that we pick on this podcast, and it doesn't mean that Brad and I wouldn't sit and enjoy a nice añejo neat with this person if we were sitting at the bar. It just means we pick on them with our money and our bets. And without question, Patrick Corbin is that guy, especially on the road. Yeah, have some fun here with Skubal to be able to pick up the victory and have some fun with the Texas and Detroit game, because I think it's going to be a great one.
Amen on that one. Skubal doo, where are you? Hopefully put money in my damn account.
Number 2.
Not number 2. We're going to go to the
number 2.
Yeah, we're going to just go ahead and rescind that on number 2. I don't need to go number 2 right now. I'm going to hold off because we got to tell you about the GamingJuice.com, you jackals. Yes, that's where all of our wagers there, including our number 1 and number 2 plays, live at all times. Go to the site. It's 100% free. I don't charge you a single penny. Cranking out all kinds of preseason NFL content. My team previews the 3-point stance coming up on the immediate horizon in a couple of weeks. So we got some things brewing behind the scenes. Hopefully going to make a major announcement here shortly. But in the meantime, I'm going to have some additional pieces on some player prop futures tied to the National Football League available there on site. I even spun recently the George Pickens to Dallas news for all you fantasy football players. And speaking of fantasy, my rankings are live. The 1.0 version, going to be adding some comments, added ADP data already. Going to be updating that throughout the entire summer. Lundy's free pick spreadsheet is always live there, always transparent, always free. And so is my spreadsheet as well. So go to thegamingjuice.com, you jackals, and sign up for a free account. Click, converse, and cash. ... Maybe.
Number 2.
All right, now we got it correct. Number 2 is officially here. And I am going to make some noise with Cal Raleigh of the Seattle Mariners. Let's go fishing in total bags. I'm going to take the over on 1.5 total bases in his matchup against the Toronto Blue Jays at a plus 110 there at DraftKings Sportsbook. Our friends at Odds Checker Plus have this as a 63% EV value play. That's extraordinary. And the AI probability they have thrown in is at 76% that this sucker is going to come through. So pretty good odds. Of course, there's no guarantees. There's no locks. They do not exist. But the lean is very strong. And generally speaking, the advanced algorithms and metrics are a hell of a lot smarter than your boy. So I'm going to copy and paste and go with Cal Raleigh on the over 1.5 total bases going against Kevin Gausman. He is 4 for 9 lifetime against him with 3 home runs. That's a 444 batting average and nearly a 2,000 OPS. Raleigh has gone under this in 6 of his last 10, but he has gone over this in 2 of 3 matchups against the Jays this season. And you look at Gausman, yeah, he's got a 3.83 ERA, but a 41.7% hard hit rate. So Cal Raleigh, split a gap, collect a couple of singles, hit one over the fence. I don't care how you get there, but I like the over on 1.5 total bases against Canada at plus 110, available there at DraftKings. Numero dos. We made that very clear here on this podcast. Lundy, fade or follow?
Oh, you got to take this one. He's actually one of my favorite home run bets for today, to be honest with you. If you're thinking about sprinkling a little home run bet, maybe you got a boost, a bonus, something like that floating around from one of the books. I think he's one of the top dogs in terms of a round tripper. And if you want to stay on some of the later games on the schedule, by the way, the other guy I like, I know this is kind of obvious, but I don't know, maybe you parlay them together. That's Shohei Ohtani.
Oh, well, yeah, you had me at Shohei and show me the money every single time he is mentioned. Hey, Lundy, you want to drop the right sounder?
Number 1.
Yeah, we did it, America. Numero uno here on the Fade 5 countdown. We just roll the punches. We don't edit jack nor squat. We just keep it real, folks. I'm going to go with the same game parlay, and I already know Lundy is going to be following the living hell out of me on this, because what do we do on this show? We always fade the Rockies. Now, generally speaking, we always fade them when they're on the road, which is understandable, but the Padres are in town. They're one of the best teams in the National League. They have completely owned Colorado the last 3 times out, winning those games straight up. So same game parlay for me at Coors Field. Give me the Pods on the money line. All they got to do is win and give me Manny Machado. He's a macho man. 2 or more total bases. That's it. A simple little 2-legger, and it pays out a plus 112 there at DraftKings. You look at Manny Machado in the month of May, batting a ridiculous 435 with a 1,171 OPS. He has gone over total bases 1.5 in a game in 6 of his last 8 contests. And against Antonio Zentitella, who is a certifiable pitching machine for this Colorado team, he is 9 for 23 lifetime against them. With a home run and 4 doubles. That's a 391 batting average and 1,098 OPS. Oh, and it gets better. Zentitella this year has a 7.63 home ERA. He has got an expected ERA over 7, even though the standard ERA is sitting right now at 5.50, which is equally bad. And on top of that, 11.9 barrel percent allowed. That's one of the highest in Major League Baseball among qualifying starting pitchers, and a 48.1% hard hit rate. Give me all the props on the Padres, but more specifically, my number 1 play of the Fade 5 countdown on this Friday, same gamer, Padres money line, Machado, 2 or more total bags in Colorado, plus 110 at DraftKings. Lundy, just go ahead and follow.
Yeah, I'll follow. I've got Machado in a same game parlay, slightly different coming up for you here. So have fun. Yeah, just pick on the Rockies, pick on Antonio Senzatella. The Rockies just finished playing 3 against Detroit. 2 of them were yesterday. The 2 games yesterday, I believe the combined final score was 21-3.
Yeah, that sounds accurate. I had a lot of money on Detroit in both those matchups. Tanner Hudson, the pride of Champaign, Illinois, went to my wife's high school. He got rocked in that second game, to say the least. So, yeah, keep making money by fading the living daylights out of the Colorado Rockies. And Lundy, guess what? It's bonus time! Bonus time! Whether it's in Major League Baseball, and of course, you're going to have some additional bets in that Rockies and Padres matchup, whether it's on the hardwood, the NBA, there with the Denver Nuggets, or possibly the other game going down tonight. Maybe you're looking ahead in the future on some NHL props, or maybe some props coming up this weekend, or in the NFL. Pick your poison, my man. Serve it up and smash it out of the park. What do you got?
All right, let's have some fun. First of all, I want to stick with the Rockies game, and I'm going to keep using Manny Machado with the 2 total bags. That's sort of the anchor to each of these. So let me give you a couple of plays that you can do, and then you can decide whether you want to add some of these other legs into that same game parlay that Brad gave you. You can bet them individually. It doesn't matter to me, however you want to build it. Again, Brad had the Padres on the money line, which is smart. Manny Machado with the 2 total bases. Here's a couple other things that I like. If you look at Antonio Senzatella, each of the times that he takes the bump, you know what he does? He gives up effing hits like they're like he's handing out candy at Halloween, folks. So one example that I did, Brad, this one paid a plus 148. Machado for the 2 total bags, Senzatella to give up 6 or more hits, and San Diego on the money line. That pays you a plus 148 if you're looking to be able to continue to take advantage of the Colorado Rockies here at home. And by the way, it is a gorgeous day here in Denver. That ball is going to be popping off of everybody's bats. It is really, really beautiful here in Denver. We got some great weather this weekend. So again, that's one way to do it. The Senzatella for 6 or more hits, by the way, I don't care how many different parlays of any sport variety you want to play tonight, make sure that's one of the legs. Yep. If you also want to do, I've told you before, I like to do things where I go all in on a player, and you can clearly tell that Manny Machado is my guy for tonight because of his history against Senzatella, because of the weather, and because of how he's been playing. The other one that I put together over at Caesars earlier today, Machado for 2 total bags and an RBI. Nice and simple, right? Yeah. You think he's going to be making contact. Let's say he does that while somebody's on base, or maybe he just hits a round tripper here at Coors. That's plus 127 over at Caesars. So if you like the total bags, the chances of him getting a ribby in there as well is not a bad way to play it. And you can even go bigger than that. You can get him for 2 total bags, an RBI, and a run, and that'll bump it up to plus 156. So yeah, I'm pushing all my chips in on Manny Machado, which probably means he's going to get hit by a pitch in the first inning, manage to finish. But you already pointed out the idea that he's 391 lifetime against Senzatella, who's just a joke of a pitch. It's a joke of a team, folks. Yep. I said this on the air the other day here locally in Denver. To refer to the Rockies as a AAA team is an insult to AAA teams. Okay, it's just absolutely gross. However you want to utilize this one leg that I'm about to give you, I don't care. Build it into a parlay, build it into some hits. We're going to use a name that we haven't talked about before on this podcast. He is technically a rookie, since that carries over from the fact that he played in about 36 games last year. Let's go to the shortstop for the Tigers in Trey Sweeney. Get used to this name, because I have a feeling we're going to be talking about this guy over the course of the season. He's currently on an 8-game hitting streak, but the reason that's standing out to me is because he's got 15 hits in those 8. Brad, this is his game log the last 4 games. Now, 3 of these games are here in Denver against the Rockies, okay? Because this is where Detroit just was. But he has gone 4 for 5, 3 for 4, 2 for 4, and 2 for 4 over the course of his last 4 games. Right now, the ball's looking like a beach ball to him. And we already, we've already been talking about having some fun in the Texas-Detroit game. So the problem is for Sweeney to have a hit, he's a minus 150. So you're going to want to put this together with something else. Figure out what that is. but I would include this kid because right now he is playing really well. Great shortstop for Detroit, and he's kind of finding his rhythm here in his second year in the majors. But again, technically, baseball considers him a rookie, so we'll go ahead and stick with that. I mentioned Cal Raleigh for a home run. The reason I want to point that one out to everybody is because over at Caesars, he's plus 240 for a round tripper, but at BetMGM, that number is plus 310. That is a huge difference for the round tripper. There's some value there if you want to go play that one over at BetMGM. So I would jump in on that one. We've already talked about what to do with the Nuggets. I already gave some of that away for you. Last one, let's go to the ice tonight. 2 games. We got Toronto and Florida. The Maple Leafs are up 2-0 in that one. They'll be playing this one down in America's Wang. And then in the second contest, they're in Winnipeg. Dallas already up 1-0. Why? Because Mikko Rantanen is doing Mikko Rantanen things right now. And so this is a pretty simple one that I put together over at FanDuel. I need Mikko Rantanen to have 2 or more shots on goal. I need Sam Bennett of your Florida Panthers to have 3 or more shots on goal. If you put that one together at FanDuel, it's a plus 121. I'll save you non-puck heads all of the analysis, but if you look at what's been happening over the course of this postseason, this should be basically automatic for Mikko Rantanen, and the same thing with Sam Bennett. Florida is down 2-0 in this series, back on home ice. They are going to have to try to get after the Leafs, and to do that, they need Sam Bennett, who's one of their top shot takers, to try to make something happen. So again, Bennett for 3, Mikko Rantanen for 2, plus 121 over at FanDuel. Otherwise, man, there are some spectacular pitching batting matchups tonight that lean into the batter's favor, folks. So, I mean, this may be one of those where I decide to get crazy with the Cheese Whiz and I create like a 4-leg total base parlay just because, you know, I got a free bet, because I actually do. I have a free bet sitting in my Caesars account. So that may be what I decide to use it on tonight, because, man, there are some tasty matchups. But for now, I will yield the floor to the fine gentleman from Illinois.
Yeah, squirt a little hot sauce on that and let it ride. I think I'm going to be with you. As you can tell on the always free, always transparent spreadsheet, I think I have like 10 tickets. I don't feel great about it, but man, the matchups are just too delectable to pass up. All right, bonus time for me. Let's start with the Team Huevos parlay play of the day. We'll talk about game 3 in the other series going down the NBA tonight. And the Sirs, and that stupid CERS spelling of that, the Indiana Pacers, I understand, because of the last part of the nickname for the team. It's still idiotic. Indiana taking on Cleveland. We're going to see who suits up for the Cavs. I think Evan Mobley's trending in the right direction. We'll see about Garland. We're going to see about Hunter. But, man, they're banged up, to say the least, and they're down 2-0. I am a believer in the Pacers and the fighting Reggie Miller. So, leg numero uno on the SGP. Give me Indiana in the alt line, plus 10.5. Leg numero dos, give me Jared Allen to record a double-double. And leg numero tres, give me the Game 2 hero, Tyrese Halliburton, to score at least 15 points. I reserve the juice. Let me explain the reasons as to why. Look in the regular season on the plus 10.5 alt spread. Indiana was 3-1 against that number, and of course they're 2-0 in the series. So they're 5-1 in totality this season against Cleveland at plus 10.5. And you look at the net efficiency rankings, really not that far off. Cleveland is number 2 still in the postseason in that category. Indiana, a respectable number 5. So I think the Pacers, if they lose this thing, it's going to be by single digits. So give me them plus 10.5. Jared Allen, leg numero dos, record a double-double. He has done this once, and he has not done it in the other game. In a couple of games in the series, 12-5 in game 1, 22-12 there in game 2. He has done this in 4 of his last 6 contests. And in the regular season, he did go under in all 4 matchups against Indiana, but barely in 2 of those. And the 2 that he played most minutes in back in January, and they were back-to-backs on the 12th and 14th of that month. He went 16-9 and 11-9. So hopefully he will get that extra tick in the box, that extra board, and I think he will score double digits as well. Indiana's given up the 6th most opponent rebounds per game this postseason at 43.4. And also, they are up there in points per game allowed as well. Why? Because of pace of play. They're one of the fastest teams they have been the entire year in the NBA. More possessions, more opportunities. I think Allen records a double-double. Then Tyrese Halliburton for 15 or more points. Game 1, he had 19. Game 2, he had 22. He has done this in 5 of his last 6 games. Against Cleveland, he only played against them twice in the regular season. He had only 2 points in one game, but he barely played in that one. But he had 23 in the other one. In the postseason, shooting 47.1% overall. That's terrific. And you look at Cleveland, they have the 5th best defensive rating in the postseason, giving up 1.089 points per possession. And they've also allowed the 4th fewest points per game of 103.8. But again, it's all about the brisk pace of play, and Halliburton has been unstoppable. I think he scores at least 15. So to recap, the Team Huevos parlay play, Pacers plus 10.5, Jared Allen to record a double-double, Tyrese Halliburton, 15 or more points. That checks out to an outstandingly cool plus 164 at DraftKings Sportsbook. More bonus time. I'll fly through the rest of my Major League Baseball card. I got to get more bets going against Patrick Corbin. Javier Baez, I can't believe I'm backing him on this, but man, he's hit over 300 this year. Yeah, we're living in the upside down, folks, but I like Baez over on the her. That's hits plus runs plus RBI, the number at 1.5 at a minus 110 at BetMGM. He has done this in 7 of his last 8 games. He is crushing southpaws this season, batting .343 with an .864 OPS. Outstanding history against Corbin. 7 for 23 with a pair of home runs. It's a .304 batting average, .870 OPS. And as I mentioned before, I know Corbin's got that 3.28 ERA, but the expected ERA at 4.69, not so nice. And that 5.00 ERA says Baez bangs one into a gap yet again. I think he's going to maybe collect a couple of hits or a double or a home run or hell a triple. Guy notoriously known for swinging out of his shoes, but I think he will make some hard contact tonight. I like him on the over on 1.5 HRR at a minus 110. Juan Soto, I'm taking the under on 1.5 total bases. Famous last words for me. I'm going to parlay that with the Cubs plus 2.5 on the run line, and we get to even Steven Juice here at plus 100. Not a great history for Soto against Jameson Taillon. He's just 1 for 11 against him with a 182 OPS. In the month of May, he's stinking hot. Yeah, 346 batting average over 1,300 OPS. Hopefully Taillon can cool him off. He has gone over on total bases in 4 of his last 7. But last year against the Cubs, he was just 1 for 10. And Taillon is a guy who's been a steady Eddie this year, and the Cubs have covered on the plus 2.5 run line in 8 of their last 10 games. So again, Soto under 1.5 total bags, parlay with the Cubs, plus 2.5 on the run line. That's plus 100 built at BetMGM. And last, and probably certainly least, Eric Fetty. I love picking on this dude. Starter for the St. Louis Cardinals. I always bet on walks automatically. I will take 2. Sometimes I'll go over on 2.5. I'm not going to do that. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get creative. I'm going to confuse the algorithm and boost the juice so we can get seduced by the juice. I'm going to take Fetty those 2 or more walks, and I'm going to parlay it with Fetty 4 or more strikeouts. So we're going to stop right there. It's plus 116 available there at DraftKings. He's at Washington. The Nats are number 14 in base on balls rate over the last couple of weeks, but they're number 5 as well in K percentage. And Fetty's got exactly a 5.02 K per 9. And that is match. It's mirrored a 5.02 walks per 9. That's all the guy does. You know, he'll probably get the necessary strikeouts, barely. But that portion we're going to have to sweat out. We should not sweat out the free passes. He may do that in the first inning. Oh, and I lied. I got one more for you. Fernando Tatis Jr., I think he's going to hit a tater shot. I'm going to take him in the anytime home run market at plus 220. Against Zenzatella. He has never homered against him, but Antonio Zenzatella, 2.10 home run per 9 mark on the season. And in, let's see, a few games he has played in, quite a few, actually. I think it's 23 in total. He's got 6 home runs lifetime at Coors Field. So Fernando Tatis, I believe, touches them all again at plus 220 at BetMGM. All right, I'm out of breath and we're out of time here on the Fave 5 podcast. Do us a favor, would you kindly drop us a rating and a review and give us a fade or a follow on X. Check out Lundy's old free spreadsheet picks, not only on thegamingjuice.com, but he posts that link often on X at Nate Lundy. I do the same thing at Noisy Huevos, the outstandingly lovely and handsome and mile-high-minded Nathaniel Lundy. I'm Brad Evans. Until next time, as always, fade or follow. That is up to you. Keep sucking, Rockies.